I feel like just to state before this thing happens, I was asked by some friends of mine when I was drunk if I would like to do a plot synopsis of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. So yeah, here we go. This game starts out around 1974. You're like off the coast of Colombia in Costa Rica. You're Big Boss, or Snake, and you're the head of a military organization called Militaires Sans Frontières, or Soldiers Without Borders, which I love. And you're just like beating shit out of each other on a beach. And then Kazuhiro Miller, your buddy, your partner, he comes in, he's like, hey, so I got these two people here who are totally not spooks, like they weren't followed, like they want to talk to you, and you're like, alright, sure, whatever. So you go into this shack and you talk to them, and Professor Galvez, like the head guy, is just like, oh, well, you know, like, this weird paramilitary organization, possibly military, has like infiltrated Costa Rica, and they're all fucking over the place, but we can't bear arms, we want to get them out. So can you do that for us? Because we can't bear arms. And by the way, this is Paz, my 16-year-old blonde, blue-eyed Costa Rican like student of peace at the University of Peace. She's like, I'm Paz. We'll give you an offshore military base to do this for us. Just get them out of Costa Rica. I mean, I know you're KGB. Like, don't even play that shit. All right, you got me. But the thing is, we want control over Central America, but we don't want to get our hands dirty. So can you and your band of mercenaries just do that for us? Just get these guys out. Oh, I was captured and tortured by these dudes and blah, 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 blah. My friend I still haven't found. She was there with me. And she brings out this Sony Walkman, which is a new piece of technology at this point in time. And she plays this, and you hear like a British female voice talking about like venomous snakes, so, you know, like symbolism, ominous foreshadowing. Shadowing, yes. And Snake's like, oh no, that sounds like Boss's voice. I thought I killed her 10 years ago. She's still alive. I'm invested in this now. And so Snake's like, you know what? Sure, I'll investigate this shit just because. Later on, Snake's like all invested in this. He's got this offshore base that like all his dudes are cleaning up. It's covered in bird shit. So he goes to the Irazu Mountains and he's like, I don't know how to find my way through this shit. And Kazuhiro Miller is like, we'll just find the Sandinistas, this guerrilla army there. Like they know this lay of land. They'll figure out how to get through here. So he finds this base where they're being held captive, and he blows down the door, kills everybody, frees them, and their leader has of course been killed because he's martyred himself. But his inexplicably smoking hot daughter is still there, along with her like 10-ish-year-old brother. So he's like, oh awesome, this is great, you guys can help me out getting through these mountains to Irazu to like find these nukes. And then these weird like flying battle bots attack, the chrysalids, and this like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo like children's choir voice thing plays. And they take away her brother. It's like the shittiest crane game ever. They take away her brother and she's like, no! You've got X-ray goggles for whatever reason, and her leg is like super broken. And you're like, Amanda, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, just, if you find my brother, when you find this like research facility, like kill him rather than to be humiliated and suffer. And you're like, man, that's super dark. I'm not into that, but do you want to go back to Mother Base? Here's the Balloon Express. You attach a balloon to her and she flies away. Like, you find the prison where Chico, the younger brother, is being held, and you don't have to kill him. You're just like, hey, kid! He's like, yeah, you know, like, I've seen all these, like, cargo things who might be transporting important shit go through this particular mountain. I'm a guerrilla, like, child, so I have information on this. And the mountain is protected by ghosts! It's a thing called El Basilico, which is a big deal. I saw it like walking on two legs and it was protecting it, and Snake's like, oh, that sounds like a Metal Gear. Snake imparts some fatherly wisdom. He realizes that the kid cracked under torture and betrayed a lot of information about his compadres. He's like, you know, man, don't worry about it. It happens to the best of us. You're like 12 years old. I'm a good guy. You fight a tank by shooting at it repeatedly. That's how you win. You're one guy against a tank and you shoot it repeatedly and you win. Snake reaches this facility full of trucks and he's like looking for this one truck that's transporting nukes. And he finds this one that has Hideo Kojima inside of it. He's like, Mr. Kojima? So he sneaks up on some doctors arguing. There's like a dude being bullied in a wheelchair. And this is the first introduction we have to Hot Coldman, like the CIA chief or whatever. And you can tell he's bad when you first meet him because he's the ugliest person in the game. And he's bullying like Huey Emmerich, like Hal Emmerich's father. He's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. So he throws him down a flight of stairs, throws a man bound in a wheelchair down a flight of stairs, and he's like, you're garbage, and then he walks off. At least at one point, Huey says, like, I won't let you get away with this, Coldman. Because that's how this works in this series. Do you want to come work for us? And he's like, sure, bro. So he sends him off with the Balloon Express to Mother Base. So Snake feeds Huey. Huey, I make more bullshit about being an ornithologist. You find out, like, Peace Walker is effectively a walking nuke that Hot Coldman is using as a deterrent for most nuclear war. He's like, yeah, we need this walking around so nobody launches nukes because we know that as soon as they launch it, we'll launch one back at them. But just to prove my point as a Bond villain, I'm gonna launch one first. And everybody's like, no, that's a terrible idea. And he's like, no, I'm Hot Coldman. And you meet a French lady named Cecile who's wearing no pants. And she looks like a blonde supermodel because Kojima has a type. And you're like, what the f are you doing out here, French lady? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And you're like, do you want to go back to Mother Base? And she's like, sure. So you send her off the Balloon Express. You wake up in a field of flowers. You fight a flying robot. So you kill that. And Casimir Mills like, no, wait, what? The AI is like a different lab. Oh no, lol, oops, you gotta like find that. So you ride there on the boss's horse, and he encounters Dr. Strange. Dr. Strangelove is a really hot British lady who's like a supermodel, really skinny one, with white hair, who's like, you know what? You killed the boss, and that was really fucked up. I really liked her. I'm sure you did too, but I based this entire AI off of her and her emotions, and you don't even know. So you beat up a bunch of dudes, get dragged away, and there's another flashback. Poignant, beautiful piano music plays. You're just going through another flashback with the boss. You get tortured by Strangelove for a while. She chains you up to like a fucking ceiling, and she like shocks you to death, and where you're like, I don't know what's going on. Torture doesn't work. You're making this noise like, and so you wake up in a cell and you escape, and you talk to Miller, who can't get a hold of Paz. Snake fights Peace Walker and kicks its ass, and it goes all wonky and it runs away, and Snake chases after it through on the boss's horse. This horse is so old. It's like 20 years old. And Snake's like, oh, this is a good horse, and he's like. He's running through these like jungles and valleys on this horse, chasing this fucking giant bipedal robot. At some point, they get flung off a cliff and the horse dies. There's more flashback to the boss. The Snake kills her, and she split a suggestion with her tits out, that big scar down her chest. You go to save Paz. You stop nukes from being launched because that's the big deal here. Like, oh, the innocent Costa Rican schoolgirl who's inexplicably blonde and blue-eyed. Oh, she's been taken hostage. And the entire time you've seen her, she's like, you know, like being cute and like wringing out the rainwater from her dress. You're like drawing peace signs at a window. You don't know what she's really all about. Galvez introduces himself as Vladimir Vzornov, which is like his fancy name for not being a professor of peace, which is garbage. So Coldman gives another Bond villain speech, revealing his plans to fire a nuke to prove that Peace Walkers have the ability to automatically retaliate, thus bringing about peace with a new Cold War. That's his plan. Professor KGB shoots Coldman. Coldman dies, because Coldman's a shitbag. He's a shitbird. And Zadornov threatens Strangelove with destroying her AI unless she complies. The Sandinistas blast in out of nowhere. Like, machine guns everywhere, they just shoot everything. They're going, blah, viva la revolution. And you're like, cool, Amanda, thanks for coming in at the last minute. Everybody goes home. And Snake's like, I still gotta kill this AI, man. Like, I gotta get rid of it. And so Strangelove's all, hey, so sorry about that time I tortured you. Do you want to lift this place? You can do that? And he's like, okay, sure. So Coldman is still alive somehow. He activates the nuclear launch switch remotely because he just sucks. So the exposition fairy explains once again, you know, Coldman, his aim is to prove that we need the machine like Peace Walker. The humans don't possess the gumption to just launch nukes by themselves. He says he has the abort codes and then he dies. So just that's gone. It's all gone. And everybody panics and freaks out. And oh shit, we gotta destroy Peace Walker, we're all that's just the general resentment. So you fight Peace Walker again, there's heroic battle music, and it plays, and NORAD is still freaking out, so you call NORAD, and you're like, hey, I'm Snake. don't launch the nukes. Don't launch the nukes. Don't push the big red button. I know it looks like they're all coming towards you, but don't launch the nukes. And they're like, how do you know? How do we know that you're that guy? And it's like, well, remember that time I was honored in the presidential office and I didn't shake that guy's hand? You were there, right? So you saw me not shake his hand. So you know that I'm the dude because that was a very classified thing. And they're just like, yeah, I remember that. You were a dick, but I respect you for being a dick, so we're not gonna launch the nukes. The mammal pod opens. A symbolic swarm of butterflies vomits forth, and you rip out the hardware and have a hissy fit and launch RPGs at Peace Walker from outside it while yelling. And Peace Walker drowns itself in a lake to save humanity, which to everybody proves the boss is a good character. But after Peace Walker drowns itself, it's like maybe a year or two afterward, you find out like Huey and all your scientists have been making Metal Gear Zeke. Paz hijacks Metal Gear Zeke, and you have to fight her. And she's like, oh, I'm sick of playing the dumb, dopey teenager all this time. Like, I've been working with a secret organization called Cypher, and, like, you have to kick her ass and knock her into the sea. You find that Cypher was just, like, something that's just taken hold of her. And, she's been a double agent all along. You can't trust anybody anymore. You're Snake. You're a grizzled old white man covered in scars. And that's basically it.
When heavens divide, I will see the choices within